Good morning. My name is Tom Weber. It's my privilege to be the Commissioner at the Massachusetts Department of Early Education and Care, and it's really my pleasure to be here in Lawrence this morning to announce the Preschool Expansion Grant Initiative, which is known here in Lawrence as the Lawrence Early Achievement Partnership. And partnership is really what this is all about. We had an opportunity a year ago to apply for federal funds, and we were successful in receiving those funds. Over the course of the next 4 years, Massachusetts will be receiving $60 million to pioneer really an innovative early education opportunity for our children. And we recognize that this is a unique opportunity, that we had a chance to bring together and leverage the public school systems and the early education and care community and bring those resources together to provide children with a high quality experience unlike anything else that you'll find anywhere in the Commonwealth. When we were looking at communities to partner with, there were a number of high needs communities. In the end, we were looking in particular for places where there are strong partnerships on the ground, strong local leadership. And we were very, very happy to partner with Lawrence in this endeavor. And over the course of the next 4 years, each year Lawrence will be receiving $2.4 million to provide a full year of preschool to children, and that means 12 months, because that's what a full year is, and a full day, which means a minimum of 8 hours a day for children. This is very different than what you'll find in most public school programs, and very different from what you'll find in most licensed early education programs. There's a number of high quality criteria that are important here. The first is that we are truly supporting and respecting the educators in the classroom. We're providing these educators with a salary that's commensurate with their public school peers. We're also providing them with an array of supports, professional development opportunities that you typically wouldn't find in most classrooms, coaching and mentoring in particular. And we're providing the children with a high quality curriculum. And we're doing tremendous outreach to families because we understand in the end that a child spends about 20% of her waking hours in schools. 80% of her time is spent outside of schools. We know that we need parents and families to be our partners in educating these children. I had the privilege before coming into this event this morning to stop into one of the classrooms, and it was fortunate that I was able to be there. They were talking about their big idea of the week. The big idea of the week was, we look for options to solve our problems. We look for options to solve our problems. It could not be more apropos to what we are doing here today. We know that children have an incredible capacity for learning. Ages 0 to 5, 85% of brain development is completed during that time. It's a real unique opportunity for us to work with children and to put them in a position for lifelong success. And we know that if we don't succeed in doing that, by third grade, 70% of the children who are below proficiency remain below proficiency for the rest of their academic career. We can and must do better by these children. In Massachusetts, we've been very, very successful in educating our children relative to our peers in other states. But the truth of the matter is that our achievement gaps are just as profound as any other state. And there's more that we need to do. We have not done well by our students of color. We have not done well by our students with special needs. We have not done well by our dual language learners. And this is a real opportunity for us to start earlier with children and make sure that they enter kindergarten with a strong platform for success. A key to this partnership is what's happening on the ground here. It's easy for me to stand here as the state. It was not easy work perhaps to get the grant, but in the end, what is happening on the ground is very much a local effort. The Lawrence Public Schools are a key partner in this effort. Greater Lawrence Community Action, as well as Community Day. These are strong local partnerships, and the fact that we are connecting those community-based partners with the public schools will allow for a transition of these children in a way that will increase and improve their chances for success. I was very happy to meet a couple of parents here this morning who were talking about the experience of their children in very favorable terms. And I want to note something. This program has only been in place for 1 month. Each of the children who we just saw has only had 1 month of an early education experience. None of these children have been in an early education program prior to coming to LEAP. And what you saw downstairs and what you saw on this floor is a group of children who are experiencing a high-quality early education experience. There is structure to their day. They are learning to self-regulate. They are building the executive functioning skills that are going to be essential for them to succeed in school and in life. That doesn't happen by accident. It happens through hard work. And so I want to thank the partners who have endeavored over the past 8 months to design this program for already having such success. I want to acknowledge some folks this morning, and then I want to invite some of these individuals to the podium. First, I want to acknowledge the LEAP program director here for hosting us, Will Mary Flores. I want to thank you very much for opening your doors to us this morning and for the work that you have been doing to build such an excellent program. I want to welcome and to thank Senator Barbara L'Italian and Representative Marcos Devers. We received this grant because we have worked hard over the last 10 years in Massachusetts to build a strong system of early education and care, and that is what has distinguished us from other states and made us a real viable candidate for receiving this grant. And that wasn't an accident. We've had terrific leadership from the State House, and I want to thank you, both Senator and Representative, for your advocacy on behalf of young children. Mayor Dan Rivera, I have had the privilege now of being with this mayor on a number of occasions, and he is a passionate advocate for early education and for the young children and all children here in this community. He is also a survivor of having an infant over the course of the last several months, and I can't believe that he looks so rested and on his feet today. That is the most important job any of us have, but he's doing a great job during his day job and a great job at home, I'm sure. I want to thank Superintendent Jeff Riley, who's represented here today by Seth Racine. The superintendent has been a terrific leader on behalf of the entire school system, but a real terrific partner here on this initiative. I want to thank Mike Hirschenfeld, who really handles the day-to-day responsibilities of leading the department's work. Thank you very much, Mike. I don't know. There you are. Thank you, Mike, for being here. Thanks for taking a break from your tweeting. He's a prolific tweeter. I'm surprised that his phone isn't in his hand at this very moment. I especially want to thank Sheila Balboni for her leadership. Susan O'Neill, I know, is representing Community Day here today. And I want to thank Evelyn Friedman for the leadership that Greater Lawrence Community Action has brought to this. And I want to thank my staff. I am very fortunate to have a really strong staff. And again, this took an effort on behalf of the state to coordinate both in our application and in the implementation. And we're doing this in 4 other communities. That has not been easy work. I want to thank Anita Moeller for her work in leading this effort. And I want to thank our local staff here in Lawrence for all their efforts in licensing these programs very quickly so that we could get up and running in September. So I've said enough. I would like to invite Mayor Rivera to the podium so that he can say a few words. But I want to thank you too, Mr. Mayor, for everything that you've been doing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll be brief. I just, I have spent some time with Tom reading to kids and talking about other programs. So it's always great to have them come to Lawrence to kick off a program like LEAP, especially when they bring a nice big fat check like $2.4 million. Let's make it easy. But we know that those $2.4 million wouldn't have been able to come to Lawrence if it wasn't for our state delegation. I mean, I got to go back and say thanks to Senator L'Italian and Marcos Devers. Frank Moran's not with us, but I know that Representative DeZoglio has joined us, and all the work that they do to make sure that that things get funded so that we can have these great programs. I'm an immigrant kid that grew up in Lawrence, went to Lawrence Public Schools. I know that parents struggle when they first come to our country to find structured environments, try to figure out the American society, and these programs help them to do that. It helps their kids to do that. And what I take away from it is that this is the early investment so that kids could have a better chance of getting to college. And you think, well, that's why so early? The earlier you get the kid in to learn, to understand the classroom environment, to understand how to work with other people, problem solve, all those things that you may not think happening. We were some of those kids, and they were actually trying to figure out where the letters went on the circles. I think that's something small, but that's really troubleshooting. It's making decisions at a grade level that they hadn't been before. And I think that for our community, this money is desperately needed. We went to the State House. We talked to the state legislator again to see if we can't grow the program. But I think that at the end of the day, we will see great results from this cohort of kids and the kids coming forward. And I can't thank enough Commissioner Weber, Superintendent Riley and his staff, Evelyn Friedman Vargas from Greater Lawrence Community Action Council, Sheila Balboni. I am blessed to have all these people that work in my community. People say, well, what are you doing as mayor to advance the education in our community? And I say, well, I just stay out of Jeff Riley's way. And if I have a question, I just call Sheila. And if I need something taken care of, I just call Evelyn. I don't have to be that smart of a guy because I have all these people that do all this great work. and they do such a great job, and I thank them all for all the great doing. And Commissioner, again, and to the governor and folks who are involved in this program, thank you so much for bringing it to Lawrence.
Thanks. Thank you for joining us, Representative DiZoglio. And I also was remiss in naming one really important partner. June Black has joined us here today. She's the district director from Congresswoman Nikki Tsongas' office. When I mentioned earlier that we had applied for funds, they were federal funds. So the opportunity would not have existed without the leadership of our congressional delegation, and I want to thank you very much for being present here today and for the Congresswoman's advocacy on behalf of this opportunity. I'd like to invite Senator L'Italian to the podium to say a few words.
Thank you. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Senator Barbara L'Italian. So 2 days ago now, I guess, the Education Committee met in the State House, and we're very fortunate here in Lawrence that we have myself serving on that committee, Representative DiZoglio, Representative Devers, and all three of us were there 2 days ago on the panel to hear Commissioner Weber's remarks and Mayor Rivera's remarks about that this is really an important issue. Getting kids on the right path as early as possible, really investing early on pays dividends, because if we can get to kids and have them be equal with their peers as they're entering kindergarten, there's a diminished need for special education. There's less of a need to worry about people being behind and playing catch up in their first couple of years. There are much better outcomes. We have all the measurables on that. And so this is a wonderful federal grant. We're so grateful to the state for seeing the need here in Lawrence. It funds over 100 kids. The commissioner and I were chatting as we were walking through the classrooms. One family, the mom had mentioned that because of their child's participation 1 month in, their English language skills have improved, their ability to communicate has improved, and some of the challenging behaviors that we see, I had 4 children, so I certainly saw it with my preschoolers, have diminished. And so when you're able to communicate and feel like a part of your society, that's a great thing. I can't help but be struck by the fact that these 2 buildings were the former St. Anne's School. And my dad, this has always been an immigrant city, my dad was a French-speaking child that attended this school in the 1920s and learned English when he landed here. So it's always been an immigrant city. We know that we need to do more of this. I'm very hopeful. I know that we all are sponsors at the state level of making this more readily available, putting state funds in to ensure that this happens throughout the state, not just within the confines of this particular grant. But we are sure happy to accept the money, get kids into preschool seats. They're going to have great outcomes. It's a wonderful partnership between federal, state, and local government. And when we're at our best, as the mayor said, we get out of people's way and let the professionals do their job. And just on a last note, it's really struck by, there's a lot of commotion downstairs in those rooms when we walked through, right, with cameras and people. And those kids were so engaged and so motivated and so ready to learn that it didn't seem to faze them at all. They were on task, doing what they needed. And I think that's a real credit to the kids. And it shows the effectiveness of what good, high-quality early education can mean to a child. So really happy to be here. And again, very grateful for the partnership. Thank you.
Representative Marcos Devers, would you like to say a few words?
Yes, thank you. Good morning, everyone. It was fun downstairs. It was fun. As the son of a teacher, my mother, Desdemona, she was my teacher. She was my preschool, my early education experience. And I see how vital that is. This is the best investment. We invest now to save headaches in the future and to bring greatness to the Commonwealth and the United States of America. Thanks to all the partners, and I'm so proud and humble at the same time for being a member of the Education Joint Committee. And I thank the Speaker of the House for assigning me to that committee 5 years ago. I don't want to use the word senior. I don't like that word. But I am the current senior representative, state representative. So thanks everyone, all the partners that are working with us in this great advocacy and great actions. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Representative. We're very fortunate to be joined as well by Representative Diana DiZoglio. And we're very fortunate, I just want to note that each member of the legislature that you have heard from are members of the Joint Committee on Education. So I know for them this is a good local event, but it's also a real important, I think, moment in terms of exemplifying the leadership that the state has been bringing to make these types of opportunities possible. So, Representative, would you like to come and say a few words?
Good morning, everyone. It's great to be here today in one of my favorite places in the city of Lawrence and to be joined by so many people that have invested in our children in this community. Thanks to the Commissioner for coming out here, and to Mayor Rivera and his administration, and to the local delegation as well as the media for participating to help raise awareness about this issue and this important funding that we have received. I don't want to be too long here. We've already heard from some great speakers who have gotten the point across, but I do just want to say thank you to Congresswoman Tsongas' office and the federal delegation and to the administration for investing in the children of Lawrence, which we know gateway cities and gateway communities have struggled for years with our graduation rates. And thanks for mentioning also that we are all on the Joint Committee for Education, which most of us requested to be on because of the issues that we've been faced with in the city. It's a great opportunity to be able to hear different bills that come up and to think of gateway cities and gateway communities such as Lawrence, and to be able to make decisions based on what we see going on back here. So we can't do what we do without these investments. We're very grateful to everybody for partnering together to make this happen. And once again, thanks for coming out today to share this moment with us.
Thank you. Thanks, Representative. Thank you. As I mentioned earlier, the real work is taking place on the ground, and what you're seeing here today does not happen by accident. It's really the effect of a number of months of hard work. And I want to note that in introducing the next speaker, that the Lawrence Public Schools have been committed to early education preceding this opportunity that came to us from the federal government. In fact, about a year and a half ago, I sat down with Seth Racine, and they were asking us, what else can you do to help us provide more early learning opportunities for children? So I want to introduce Seth as a representative of the Lawrence Public Schools, but note that this is an issue that's near and dear to the heart of the superintendent, Jeff Riley, in that a number of efforts have been ongoing, and this is just another important piece of what we're doing to serve young learners.
So I'll be brief. Thank you, everyone. And I want to thank the Commissioner and the Community Group and GLCAC for a new challenge. With the Lawrence Public Schools, we are confronted with many daily challenges, and over the last few years, we have cut the dropout rate in half. We've increased the graduation rate by almost 20 points. We've increased proficiency in English and math in every grade over the last 3 years, every year. And what we have grown accustomed to for all of our staff is knowing that every year the kids are going to be higher performing than they came in the year before, so we need to raise our rigor. And now with this new challenge that we are raising the rigor of kids who are coming into kindergarten, I'm going to use this time to go back to talk to the kindergarten teachers to make sure that they're ready, because there are some very high-performing kids that you saw already. And so, again, I want to thank the Commissioner and our partners here. This has been a collective community partner effort reflective of the work that's happened over the last few years. So, thank you again.
Thanks. The connections of these partnerships is so incredibly important. I mean, the fact that we have community-based operators working with the public schools, it's not easy to do. And I'll say this, as somebody who's been a longtime advocate in this work, about a decade ago, there was still a great debate going on about whether or not this should happen in the public schools or it should happen in community-based programs. And the answer is that it must be both. And for us to make sure that we are transitioning children successfully, it has to be both. And so it's my privilege to introduce Evelyn Friedman, who leads Greater Lawrence Community Action, one of the critical partners to this effort and a number of other efforts. They serve about 800 children across all of their early education programs. That is a big operator within our system, and they do terrific work. Evelyn?
I think I'm bringing up the rear here, so I'll be brief. I do want to say a few things, though. When the commissioner called and said, we're going to apply for this grant, and will you participate? I didn't hesitate, of course. I said, of course, we want to do this. This is right in our bailiwick, and we're really excited about doing it. And we're so happy we got the grant. There's a couple, and I want to thank our congressional delegation and our state representatives and senators and the mayor for supporting this effort. I want to just say a couple of things. Up until now, we have worked really closely with the Lawrence Public Schools, and we always worked with the Lawrence Public Schools, but not as closely as we have now. We have really focused on, what the agenda for the program is going to be, what the outcomes are going to be, and one of the really important things is we are going to be able to track these children. We do try to track the children, but we haven't been able to as much as we will be able to with this grant. So we will be able to follow these children as they go on to public school, grammar school, high school, and we'll be able to see what the impact is. So that's really important. And the other really important factor that I want people to understand is that this grant gives us the opportunity to work with the parents as well, which is an important factor because we want to engage the parents in such a way that they understand what their role is, that they're not just giving their children to the school and then the children come back. Rather, that the parents are going to be involved, they're going to understand what's happening with their children's education. And this is a real opportunity that we don't often get. So we're very pleased and very excited about the program, and we're looking forward to working in the next couple of years. Thank you.
Susan, yeah.
It's right there.
I'm sorry, you're sitting right next to me. Can't see the tree through the forest, right? Thank you. I looked around you apparently the entire time. I am privileged to introduce one additional speaker, but an incredibly important partner. We have two community-based operators here in Lawrence for this region, really, who are powerful. Community Day is another really strong partner who does a lot of work even beyond this LEAP program. And Susan O'Neill is here to represent Community Day. So Susan, if you would say a few words.
I won't repeat, but honestly, everything that everybody has said today is exactly what has made this program possible. I just want to reiterate that the community group is passionate about collaborating with all of the best minds in the city to improve outcomes for children. Turnaround of the district isn't going to happen unless we all work together. The graduation rate isn't going to be pushed. The college graduation rate isn't going to be pushed unless we all work together. But I just want to take a moment just to acknowledge the parents again. Gracias a los padres for entrusting their children to us. They've made already a very wise first step. They've enrolled their children in a quality early ed program, and for that we thank you. Thank you.
So in closing, I want to raise the stakes a little bit just by noting that really the attention of the state is on us. There is a strong interest in what is going on here in Lawrence and in the 4 other communities, and we are going to be studying and researching what is going on here in ways that we have been unable to do with any other program in the Commonwealth. So we're really looking forward to learning from this, not only to inform what we're doing in preschool, but what we're doing in other parts of the early education system, because we know that infant and toddler care is every bit as important as what's going on in preschool. What was noted by Senator L'Italian earlier is that the legislature is looking at this very, very seriously and trying to plan forward with a multi-year plan to expand not only access to, but the quality of early education. So I want to thank everybody that's standing beside me today because they're really pioneers in this work, and I think that there is an excellent opportunity before us to learn from this and to build the system of high-quality early education and care that we have long talked about, but we're still aspiring to. And day to day, most importantly, we're changing the lives and the trajectory of so many children here in this city, and there's so many other children who we have yet to reach, but we're going to get there. So thank you all for what you're doing. Appreciate it. Thank you.